What happens when two radically different Snow White adaptations clash head-on? On one side, Rachel Zegler, Hollywood's rising star, is pushing a bold feminist reimagining of the classic princess, defying the beloved 1937 film and rewriting Snow White's legacy. On the other, Brett Cooper, a former Daily Wire personality and YouTuber, is fighting to preserve the magic of Snow White's original charm, staying true to the timeless elements that made the story iconic. But this isn't just about fairy tale interpretations, it's a cultural war. With financial struggles at the Daily Wire, explosive behind-the-scenes drama, and a social media firestorm of polarizing fan reactions, this showdown is about far more than just a princess. So which Snow White will reign supreme, the progressive reimagining or the nostalgic return to tradition? The drama's just beginning, and the final outcome might shock you. Snow White has long transcended her status as a simple fairy tale character, evolving into a cultural icon. Since Disney first introduced her in 1937, she's been a cornerstone of Disney magic. Yet with two drastically different takes on the character emerging today, her legacy is now at a crossroads. On one hand, we have Rachel Zegler, fresh off her success in recent musicals, offering a modern, empowered version of Snow White. On the other, there's Brett Cooper, whose traditional approach to Snow White stands in stark contrast, seeking to honor the fairy tale's original charm. As these adaptations take shape, tensions are rising over which version will truly capture the heart of Snow White and win the public's favor. Meanwhile, Zegler's outspoken interviews, combined with rumors of financial instability at the Daily Wire, have only intensified the debate. Fans are asking which Snow White will stay true to the beloved tale, and which will falter under the pressure of modern expectations. Disney's original 1937 Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs set the gold standard for animated fairy tales, captivating audiences with groundbreaking animation, a memorable soundtrack, and unforgettable characters. The film's timeless themes of innocence, kindness, and love have endured for generations. But now, with these new adaptations sparking heated debates, the question is which version will stay true to the character's essence and which will fail to live up to the legacy. For many, Disney's original film remains a cherished childhood memory, with the iconic scenes of Snow White singing with forest animals and being awakened by true love's kiss. However, as society evolves, so too do creators' approaches to classic tales. Some argue that these updates are necessary to empower modern audiences, while others believe they undermine the original charm in pursuit of trends. Rachel Zegler's take on Snow White has been a lightning rod for controversy. When Disney announced her casting in the live-action remake, the news was met with mixed reactions. Ziggler, known for her role in the hit musical West Side Story, quickly became a polarizing figure after publicly dismissing the 1937 classic. In interviews, she criticized Snow White's quest for true love, pushing instead for a narrative centered around self-reliance and leadership. She argued that Snow White should evolve from the traditional damsel in distress into a self-empowered figure who leads with authority. At first, Zegler's fresh approach seemed empowering a modern princess taking charge of her kingdom. However, many fans felt this stripped Snow White of the innocence and purity that made her iconic. Critics accused Zegler of showing disrespect for the original film, especially after revealing she had only watched it once. Fans worried that Snow White's signature kindness and moral strength might be overshadowed by a cynical, modernized version. Ziggler's comments sparked a broader cultural debate, with some applauding her progressive storytelling while others argued she was disrespecting a beloved legacy. Just when it seemed like the controversy couldn't get any bigger, an unexpected challenger emerged: Brett Cooper. Brett Cooper, known for her YouTube presence and time with the conservative Daily Wire, made waves by announcing her own Snow White adaptation. Unlike Zegler's feminist reimagining, Cooper's version seeks to return to the traditional roots of the story. Early reports suggest her adaptation will embrace the original Brothers Grimm version as well as Disney's classic style, featuring a kind-hearted heroine, a sweet romance, and the magical charm that has made Snow White a beloved story for generations. For many fans, Cooper's approach struck a chord. They welcomed the idea of returning to a Snow White untainted by modern critiques. Her version seemed like the perfect antidote to the politically charged narratives in today's media. But not everyone was convinced. Some feared that Cooper's more traditional take might feel outdated or overly conservative, especially in comparison to the feminist themes of other modern reimaginings. Adding complexity to this rivalry were whispers of financial troubles at the Daily Wire, where Cooper previously worked. Rumors of internal conflicts and her possible departure raised questions about the impact this would have on her Snow White project. These behind-the-scenes dramas only fueled public interest, leaving audiences curious to see how the adaptation would unfold. Brett Cooper's foray into Hollywood has sparked speculation. Some see it as a bold move to define her career outside the constraints of the Daily Wire. while others wonder if her departure was more the result of workplace conflict. Either way, the timing has made her project all the more intriguing. As Zegler's Snow White faced backlash, Cooper quietly worked on her own adaptation, gaining attention for taking a more traditional approach. The real question is whether this ongoing drama will affect Cooper's film. Could the negative press surrounding the Daily Wire tarnish her project, or could it help her, painting her as a brave outsider breaking free from corporate constraints? Either way, the growing interest in Hollywood's behind-the-scenes dynamics promises to make her Snow White adaptation one to watch. At its core, this rivalry is about more than two actresses playing the same role. It represents a larger cultural battle. On one hand, Zegler's version champions progress with a modern narrative of empowerment, independence, and leadership. On the other, Cooper's project leans into timeless virtues of love, kindness, and hope, the very qualities that made Snow White a symbol of purity for generations. The situation has only intensified with Zegler's controversial remarks, which critics argue undermine the traditional themes of love and innocence that have always been at the heart of the Snow White story. For many, the charm of Snow White lies in her optimism, which they feel shouldn't be discarded in favor of a modernized, cynical version. Supporters of Zegler, however, praise her for challenging the status quo. They argue that stories must evolve with time and Snow White's tale can reflect contemporary values without losing its core message. This debate has exploded on social media, where every comment from Zegler sparks passionate opinions. Meanwhile, Cooper's more traditional approach has won over many fans who long for a return to the original Snow White, one that embodies kindness, innocence, and the belief that good triumphs over evil. Fan content celebrating Cooper's vision has flooded platforms like TikTok, highlighting her Snow White's faithfulness to the heart of the original tale. In the battle of Snow White adaptations, Zegler's critics have turned her more controversial statements into viral videos, further stoking the fires of anti-Disney sentiment. These videos portray Zegler as dismissive of the original film, intensifying the divide between those who favor modernization and those who prefer nostalgia. The backlash against Zegler took another dramatic turn when she revealed feeling personally attacked by online threats. Some sympathized with her, while others felt her dismissive attitude toward the original film had invited the criticism. Regardless of where you stand, it's clear that the tension between these two Snow White projects is emblematic of larger cultural battles over how we approach our beloved childhood icons. As both films prepare to hit theaters and streaming platforms, the competition is heating up. Zegler's Snow White benefits from the power of Disney's brand, ensuring massive marketing support. However, the controversy surrounding Zegler's remarks could hinder the film's potential, particularly if fans feel the adaptation disrespects the original. Disney understands that while its brand is a huge asset, maintaining fan goodwill is essential for success. If Zegler's version falters, Brett Cooper's film, with its more traditional take, could resonate with audiences longing for a Snow White faithful to the classic version. The stakes are high, with both films representing competing visions of what Snow White should be. Each adaptation has its own cultural agenda, one embracing progress, the other championing nostalgia. And in a world where every detail is scrutinized, even the portrayal of dwarfs and mythical beings could stir controversy. Peter Dinklage's criticism of Disney over the portrayal of dwarfs only adds fuel to the fire, raising questions about how both films will handle these sensitive topics. Cooper's adaptation might favor a more traditional approach, which could appeal to those who believe Disney has strayed too far from the original. This showdown between Zegler's modern Snow White and Cooper's traditional take is more than a rivalry. It's a microcosm of a broader cultural debate over nostalgia, progress, and how we preserve our past while embracing the present. The competition is fierce, and both films have their strengths and flaws. But at its heart, the Snow White story is about hope, kindness, resilience, and the belief that good can triumph over evil. Whether you're drawn to Zegler's modern approach or Cooper's return to tradition, the core of Snow White remains unchanged. Love matters, kindness matters, and in the end, the question remains, should we evolve characters to reflect modern sensibilities or protect their original magic? So what do you think? Which Snow White adaptation do you support, Rachel Zegler's progressive reimagination or Brett Cooper's return to tradition? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a breakdown of the latest cultural debates. We want to hear from you. Tell us, do you think Snow White's legacy should evolve with the times, or should it stay true to its roots? The rivalry is just heating up, and your opinion matters now more than ever.